Hello everybody, I'm adjusting the camera as usual. If you've been here before the time, I can't adjust it ahead of time. It's just my phone, it doesn't allow me to. So it is 10 minutes to 3 for those watching on the replay. I think that gives a nice, trash can's in the way. I think this is my first live or something. There we go. Hi Rose, hi Devi. Set my timer on my phone today. Yeah, no, you can't trust, if you want to make it to anybody's live, you can't really trust the timer on the phone. You really need to, I set alarms even for myself. I set an alarm at 2 o'clock because I need to know ahead of time. So in case I get involved in sewing something, obviously I didn't set myself up ahead of time today. I thought I could do it without moving everything, but I can't because I don't want to have this in the way. Hi Kathy, hi Haley. Her second birthday? Didn't she just have her first birthday like 2 months ago? That girl is growing too fast. Hi Judy from Hawaii. My goodness. I mean, children, they do grow awfully quick, don't they? There we go. Well, that's going to be good enough. I think we have plenty of room even if we see my laptop, right? She is. I almost said, oh, she's walking yet? Because I keep thinking it's only like her first birthday, but no, she's 2. She's getting, my kid's got a little bit, we'll call it talkative. I called it mouthy, but we'll call it talkative, really talkative around that age. Hello, Lupe. And Michelle. I hope everyone's getting some nice weather. We're in May, right? So that means everyone should be getting some nice weather. Some sunshine, I'm hoping. I usually have something to fiddle with right now, but I have nothing to fiddle with. No matter what I started, it would yawn it, but it's my afternoon slump. Oh, sass, yeah. You know, you're not gonna, if your initials end up being that way, it just kind of, it sets your personality. I had so much fun making these. Raining and sun at the same time. Well, that sounds like Florida to me. So far, fingers crossed, I haven't seen any rain today. We actually got pretty, for us, not like scary flooded, but we've had so much rain lately, we've been getting flooded. Sunny, breezy, and the blue ocean. Well, Hawaii, yes. It's pouring for you. Excuse me. We had some scary weather come through a few times. We actually had, we're no longer in a drought. We managed in less than 7 days to get ourselves out of the drought. Some places actually had 5, 6, 7, 8 inches in one day. We had about 8 inches in a week. Boy, everyone's got rain, rain, rain. Well, you know, we're coming into May. It's our rainy season, so I imagine you guys are gonna have rain and stuff too, which is good for the ground, especially since if you are in an area where you're getting ready to do your garden and such, then, you know, the rain is good. I know it helps me pull some of my weeds because it softens up the ground. Rain for Connie. Now, the Pacific Northwest, you kind of get a lot of rain anyway. Isn't that like a rainy area, Connie? Jody is from that area. I haven't seen her. She said she's going to make it, so we'll see if she shows up. But she tells me all the time, it's like, it's cloudy, it's gray, it's raining. She's always got something going on. I'm feeling very fidgety today, so I have to put my hands, I have to clasp my hands together to make sure they're going to behave themselves today. And my shirt matches my mat today. Look at that. I have my fabrics cut. So we're going to do a rainbow today. I went with the 1.5 inch with the white and with the rainbow. That one should be fun to work with. On both of these, I started with the background contrast color, or wait, yeah, the background color. The contrast would be the novelties, but I started both of these with the white and the black, and for this one we're going to start it opposite just so you guys can see what it looks like. And we are going to start with a red square, and then we're going to use the white as our second round, and every even one there out. It's supposed to make it look just a little bit different. Some people can alternate them, or you can just have them. It's going to change the look. Like if our main focus right here is the white, it's then going to change that so that the rainbow pops out, and these little small narrower ones are going to be the white, and I think I'm going to like that a lot. Rainbows and pineapples. When I've been answering questions in the comments and stuff today, because I've actually had time to chat with people, which was nice, it got me to thinking, this block is not that far different than when we did the log cabin hexagon. So once I got past a couple rounds and I set up my pattern, it was really easy, and it was basically the same thing that we've done before. So while this is the pineapple and it seems so scary, it was really just like the hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's an octagon, but still, it had the same basic idea. I've had so many people tell me that they've heard there's a lot of waste, or they had a lot of waste of their fabric when making these, and I don't know how it's made and you have a lot of waste, because I haven't had that problem. I'll plug my iron in before we get started. Hi, Jackie. Get in. Oh, the computer shut down. Oh. That's why people wonder, like, why does Robin start 10 minutes early? Well, I want to make sure that whatever electronics wants to misbehave, that it gives me a few extra minutes. So instead of being 10 minutes late because of a miscombobulation, then at least I have a few minutes extra to play with it. I do like the black. I want to make one with gray, but I didn't want to do gray with the rainbow. I wanted those bright colors to pop. I made sure I kept the really nice brighter colors for the most part. So I want to see what one would look like with gray and with maybe the semi-solids, and just to keep it really nice like that. I'm doing good, Kathy. How are you doing today? Oh, the AC just turned off. That thing is just so loud. I'm just plugging my iron in, and I think it needs water because I didn't check that. I keep a little bottle. I got this for free when I was doing some type, oh no, it came with my smoothie maker. I knew I didn't buy it, but I have this nice bottle with a good lid, and it has a nice opening, and I keep this underneath the desk so that when I need to put water in my iron, I just have it here. Plus it sits at room temperature, and it just gets to become air conditioning cool. And otherwise, because it either comes out hot or cold out of the faucet, depending on what time of the year it is. And I don't want to put ice cold water in my iron. Good, good, good. I'm glad, Kathy. Hi, Maureen. Simply More Crafting. Well, at least we can put your name with that. It might, well, let's be realistic. I'm not going to remember. But at least I have a good fighting chance. And half the time I do overfill my iron, and that's why I buy inexpensive ones, or I dribble and make a mess, which is why I keep a hand towel in here. I'm trying to be more in the moment and paying attention to what I'm doing so that my brain and my hands are connected. So instead of thinking of 100 different things, I'm paying attention when I'm filling up my iron. Hopefully I get a good chance of not overflowing it. Oh, looks like my internet's not too good today. I hope everyone can see and hear me well. I am on my home Wi-Fi, so let me know if there's any issues. If it gets too crazy, we can always switch over to Verizon, but Verizon's not very nice half the time. Before we get started, does anyone have any questions? I'm going to jump right in today because I'm in that kind of mood. But before I do jump in, I have one thing to say. I have changed my feeling this week, this month, whatever, on fabric postcards. I have these 7 that are left over from when I did this, and I don't know what I was thinking. I chose what I consider to be not the best combination of scraps to put together. Yay, Jackie! So I'm hoping that, no, I was watching that and listening to that, hoping that you stay up. I want to get rid of these. Share these with anyone who would be interested. I have 7 of them, so I want to share 4 of them today with the live stream, and I want to share these 3 on the replay. So if anyone's interested, I will choose one person right now. So if anyone wants to say me, I have my little sticky notes and my pen to write it down. And if I choose you, then I just need you to email me your mailing address to RsIslandCrafts@gmail.com. Hi, Sylvia. We're glad you could make it. I have cut out a bunch of, where did I put? I've been working on applique this morning. Of fun colors to do some hibiscus flowers. I want to make, hi Giovanna, how are you? I would like to, I want to make some for hibiscus fabric postcards, and I want to make some zipper pouches with the hibiscus applique on them. But I want to move away from the crazy scrap. I'm feeling more pretty today, and I would like to have some nicer ones, some more mug rug looking ones with some applique or some fun fabrics, not just a pure. All right, so let me shut my mouth for a second, or let me close my lips and be quiet, and we'll see. Has anyone not received one yet? Okay, Giovanna, I have not seen your name. I think you might be new to our channel. I would love to send you one to Italy. If you could just send me your mailing address with your full name, and since it's going to Italy, give me all those special codes, and you know, you receive mail, so you know what I need. Casadio. And if you guys don't send me anything in about a week, then I will just go ahead and pick some more people and try again. When I go to pick names for the Scrappy Word of the Day, I see these fabric postcards and I'm like, oh, I don't want to send them out. I'm like not embarrassed because it's not like they're horrible. They're just a little bit crazy. Hi, Shirley. Kathy, you haven't had one yet? Well, very welcome to you, Giovanna. I'm glad you can join us. How about some flames, Kathy? Would you like some flames, Kathy? I'll send you one. And then we'll pick out a couple more as we get, because that's 2 of them. So I have 2 more, and we'll pick out the next 2 later on. If I forget by the end of the live stream, just remind me. I'd like to get some people that haven't received one, just to spread it out. Because while I'm standing here chatting with people, then I can say, you know, have one and stuff. A lot of times when I just go to pick the Scrappy Word, I'm just like in a mood, and I'm like, oh, well, that name looks fun, or this person says a lot of nice comments, and they come to all of the videos, and they're always like the first comment within the first couple of hours. So I like to just kind of like say thank you, and then send them some. Okay, there's 2. So you guys are going to just email me. My email is down below in the description box, but it's RsIslandCrafts@gmail.com. Hello, Debbie from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Connie, catch me a little bit later on in the video here. here, I would be more than happy to put your name on one of these. Hi Cindy, and if not, just check out the other videos, and if you leave a comment using the Scrappy word of the day, once I make some more, I'm planning on spending Mother's Day doing something I love, fabric postcards and zipper pouches. Now, I'm avoiding 100%. I usually do some videos on Sunday, like the Whip It Wednesday, but since it's Mother's Day, I'm going to totally spoil myself and not work on any YouTube stuff, but I'm 100% going to work on stuff for the shop, because working on things for the Etsy shop is not like work. That is more like fun because I enjoy making them. All right, we are going to get started once I get a drink because I am so dehydrated today. I'll move my cup over here because I have a new metal cup. My mother sent me a drink cup here. Sometimes you forget that you're awesome, so this is your reminder. What she didn't know is I've been on the hunt for about 6 months or more for a new cup. I actually put a straw in this one, but I get tired of washing those darn straws because you have to put the little brush in it and everything, and it drives me crazy. Before we get going, I want to show you all, and I'm not going to bring the flowers in, but because she nailed it with the cup, I want to show you, she didn't know, there's this little, like, I call it a milk can, but I'm guessing it's like a milk pail. It's really deep love for milk cans. We actually got raw milk when I was growing up as a child, and we've always had a milk can that holds open our front door on the porch so the wind doesn't blow it. I don't have one, but my parents and grandparents always did. And I've always wanted one for this house, but they're just too expensive just to get one, just to have, you know. So I'm on my phone. Well, that's fine, Giovanna, because there's nothing I can do because, you know, I'm on my phone right now, too. It's the RsIslandCrafts at gmail.com. Kathy, it's down in the description box. I have a yellow smiley cup. Oh, this one, someone sent me some flowers as a, it was for one of the anniversaries of Rob's passing. I try to keep batting in there so I don't, like, break anything, but it keeps moving, of course. It got just a little, you're supposed to be able to drink out of it, but the enamel or whatever, the coating on it started to get crackled the very first time I put hot tea in it, so I really got worried about it being an issue. They said you could put it in the microwave and everything, and I don't put my tea in the microwave. I have a special cup that I heat the water in the microwave and then put it in my teacup, and it cracked everywhere, so I was just worried about it. You're welcome, Kathy. If anyone seems to be forgotten, like in any of the videos, if you've been, you know, here for a long time and I seem to always skip over you, feel free to email me. And I will either send you a postcard as soon as I can if I have any on hand, or I'll put you on my list because I have lists everywhere. But I'm trying to work on, I like to make a bunch of these, like 50 at a time, so I have a whole bunch. So we'll see how many I get through this weekend. But we'll get started on our pineapple block today. Mine was from a patient. Oh, your smiley mug? Yeah, I love it. The flower, I'm really into, my favorite thing is when Rob and I first got together, he would always buy me flowers. His thing was, he bought me flowers every week. If he did something stupid and messed up, he was already covered. Didn't have to get thank you flowers because he got preemptive thank you flowers. Thank you. But I told him, cut flowers while they're beautiful. If you go into your yard and you cut fresh cut flowers, they're gorgeous. And I will admit, I do love having someone knock on my door and hand me a gorgeous bouquet of fresh cut flowers. But sometimes with Rob doing it every week, I had him do more things like, you know, buy me some type of a plant that I can grow and keep and have a long time, so that when I look at it, he started buying me African violets because they were purple. I didn't know it was hard to grow them, and I can actually grow them really well. But then every time I looked at the African violets, I could smile when I'm watering it. It's because, you know, my husband or my boyfriend got these for me because he loves me. So I can see them all the time. My mother sent me some things for Christmas, and I was able to plant a couple of them out on my porch and out along my sidewalk. So every time I see them, you know, I can think, oh, well, my mother loves me and she sent me these plants. Now, the ones she sent me for Mother's Day are gorgeous. There's roses and things that look like sunflowers and stuff, and my house smells amazing. When you have a potted plant, your house doesn't smell amazing. So many times I'm torn between, you know, which do I want, but yeah, that was more than you bargained for today. I'm going to keep this where I can see it because I know in the beginning, I also have a website up, Crazy Mom Quilts. She's one of my go-tos. She has the different way, she does it the same way I'm doing it. So if I get my blocks turned around, I'll take a second and stop and look at her blog just to make sure I'm going in the right direction, because you can easily get turned around with this block. There was a few times when I was recording the video, I had to wait, let me stop and orientate it. Oh, okay, all right, I know where I'm at. Yeah, plants, I love plants. It does, Cindy, it makes that colors and everything pop. Can you imagine if we'd have done this today with the rainbow colors, it would really pop. And also, if you were just to do a blue block and a red block, it would really pop against this. They don't grow very well. Yeah, a lot of things don't grow in different places very well, but you know, we do our best down here because many things grow year round. For those of you that are just popping in, we are going to do these opposite today, because when you look at this block, we're going to do the 1.5 inch strips. I started with, and when you look at this block, it reads as a white block. So what we're going to do today is I am going to use white as my background, but each round I'm going to make a red round and an orange round and blah, blah, blah through the rainbow colors. And each round will be the one color. But I want the rainbow colors to pop more. So if I start my center block with my contrast colors, they're going to be the wider strips, because these are in the corners, they're a wider strip. Now you can get yourself a little confused, and I got tipsy-turvied by putting them on point a couple times, so I just want to make sure I pay attention. Thank you, Sylvia. I really like these, and these are actually going to, I'll hem and haw on it a little bit, but I know this one's going to get turned into a tote bag. I've already planned that ahead of time, which is why I chose those colors. But I do want to make some with a very pale gray background and see how they look. So I'm going to start with my 2.5 inch square. Let's see, I was thinking this one here, something nice and bold in the center. Now you can start every block you make. If you're making a 4-patch pineapple block, you know, where you have 4 of them for a mini quilt, you can start all of them with the same color. S'mores is going crazy out there. You can start them all with the same color, or you can start them all in just like random, whatever you happen to be doing. Pillows would be great too. They could be turned into pillows. Put a border around them and bring them out to like 16.5 inches or so. Hello, Cosmic Coyote Dog. You can let us know your name if you'd like, but I'll be 100% honest, I won't remember your name. Davi, what are you doing working today? It's a Friday. All right. So here's my first block. It's 2.5 inches. Let me double check to make sure that I trimmed it up properly, because it looks a little off. Nope, it's just wrinkled. I'll give it a good press. All of these fabrics again came from my scrap buckets that you see in my video. Let's see, what was I gonna do? I didn't have my squares to go around it. I could put strips on it, but these squares just come out so quick and easy. So I'm going to put these on here. I have 2 squares. One's a little bit, well, I don't even think they're square. One's a little bit smaller. One is 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, and this one is 3 3/4, so it is square. So my first one, because it really doesn't have to be, like for my strips are 1.5 inches, but if it was 1 inch and 3/4, it really wouldn't matter because we're going to trim everything. At least in my head, it seems like it'll be all right. I know for this very first 2 blocks, it's going to be perfectly all right if my triangles are too big, because we're definitely going to trim those. Oh, hi, Doreen. We have a few people from upstate New York. We actually have several people that follow on this channel from that area. I find it really interesting because that is where my husband was from. All right, so here's my sewing machine. I am using, oh, Jackie's having so many problems today. Jackie, whatever's going on with you, I am so sorry. He was from Watertown. He actually grew up in Carthage. I have a white thread. It's actually ivory. It's a Missouri Star quilting thread. Let me pull out a spool. Have you guys tried this thread? It's 100% cotton. It doesn't look like very much, but it has 500 yards on the spool. This one's sapphire, in case you're curious. And it's a size 50 thread, so it's what I sew with, like the ones I get from Connecting Threads. Typos? Yeah. Hi, Susan. Yeah, Rob was born in Lowville. You're in the Rochester area. We lived in Syracuse for a few years. See, it's like the upstate New York. It's like first you hear nothing about it, then all of a sudden you just come across so many people that are in that area. But I find this thread works just as well as any basic sewing thread. My machine doesn't get extra linty from it or anything like that. It works really well. Oh, Hold your eyeballs for a second. I'm going to lower my phone down. So we don't need to be this high. So anyone who gets motion sickness, be careful. So I like to warn you, close your eyes. There we go. Don't drop the phone. You're a little east to see everyone. You guys, all you Norton, York people. Hello, Agnes. All right, Kathy, we'll catch you later. Come back in 2 weeks for the 20th, and we're going to do a ruler. Say hello to your sister. Enjoy your time. I use big reels as I used to be a tailor and have tons. Oh, yeah. I love the big spools. It took me a little bit to get used to them, and then I have the little attachment that goes next to the sewing machines, and they're great. I just happen to have this thread, and someone actually sent me the Missouri Star quilting thread, but my other ones are just smaller spools, and they work great. All right, so I have this. I'm going to take my 2 small ones, and I better put it on my 1/4 inch, which for me on my brother's sewing machine is 6.0, if anyone really is interested in that. And I've switched to a 1.8. I really like the nice tighter stitch, but of course you can go to whatever stitch length works for you. I just have to find the right side and wrong side. I don't care if it gets backwards on the white fabric. Have you tried the Essential Cotton? That's the one I use, Jackie. I have my collection. I came across them because I was buying fabric from Connecting Threads, and I absolutely loved their thread because it was a good price. When I went from Coats and Clark's, I went to Connecting Threads. They're the ones I use. I love their silver. This is my neutral. I use their silver, but I'm a little bit low on many of them, but I love this having a nice good rainbow collection. And I keep them in here so they're out of the sunlight, they're out of the dust, they don't get tangled, and the cats don't eat them. They also don't get any kind of cat fur or additional thread from anybody else on it. Yep, I've been getting mine on Amazon lately. I actually have some on my Amazon wish list. I like to get their salt and pepper pack. It's a It's like a gray and a black and a white. And then I buy their rainbow packs and stuff like that. So you get a good variety of colors. I'm looking for, oh, there it is, my other triangle. I find it's a good cotton thread. It's 50 weight, it's strong, it works in free motion quilting. So I'm gonna put mine so that I can see the red, because the red is a smaller length. So I can just put it on there, line everybody up. And I'm only gonna sew on the red. I'm not gonna go all the way out to the point once I find the sewing pedal. I'm not back stitching or anything like that. And then I put my little scrappy piece of fabric there. This is not my leader ender, but I found a leader ender project. I won't tell you what it is yet, but I was talking to another YouTuber, a quilting lady, and she showed something she was working on. And I've had this project in mind for a long time, to use up the little bits of triangle pieces that you cut off when you're making like binding and stuff. And it's going to be the perfect leader ender. I could not come up with a leader ender project. I'm going to pretend like I'm centering it and go, oh, that looks about right. Because my triangle is large enough, it's not going to matter too much. I just move it so it goes off at the narrowest part, and I'll put another scrap in. So I was really excited. I've had zero interest in the leader ender, no matter how many times you guys tell me I need to. I'm really like, I don't wanna. I'm like a child. No, you can't make me. Because we're working in my limited area, if you guys are new, you'll see me moving around, hear my voice come and go. I bring things in and out so that we can work in this one little space. Watertown. Oh, that is so cool. And Watertown, really, back then, it was not, even when Rob was born, it was not a very big place. We lived there, and see, we moved up there because his mom was really, really sick, and was, you know, he wanted to see her before she passed away, and he wanted her to get to know the kids and stuff. And so that was, I think we went in October of 2000, and we came, stubborn, and we came back here in February of 2002 because my father was not doing very well. So it's like we were both between, you know, you're between a rock and a hard place, not knowing where you want to be. I chose to be in a place that is, refocus the camera. Looking through, it's on my iPhone. When I'm looking through my iPhone, it looks great. It does look a little bit blurry on my screen too. I did the same thing, but I think it might be YouTube, because I can't change the focus on my phone as far as I know. So I'm sorry about that. We had a problem before, and because I'm using, are my regular videos, was my video this morning in good focus? Nobody mentioned anything, but that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, Watertown wasn't very, it was populated, of course, but it wasn't super populated when we were up there back then. Carthage was still really a small town. It's still super tiny or not. Check the video quality on YouTube. Yeah, mine keeps doing that, Jackie. Mine's fine. It's still at 720, but I can never tell because, yeah, I mean, even with my glasses, it does seem a little bit blurry, but yeah, it just keeps changing on YouTube for some reason. Don't hit the mouse. So then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take my little dog ears off. I'll line it up on the red fabric there. Hopefully it doesn't keep staying like this, because our options, well, my options are pretty limited. It is, you know, my cell phone, that's it. I think YouTube is having some issues again. There goes my tablet. So then I'll go to my next piece, and I think let's collect all of the scrap pieces, and we'll see what we look like at the end. So my next two pieces, I need to make sure they were a little bit bigger than my original square. So 2.5, 2.5, and then about a 3.5 would work. So that's what I'm going to use for mine. Come here. Yeah, YouTube is a marvelous thing. We all love YouTube, and I know many of us would be upset if YouTube disappeared, but it does have glitches. And I have to stop and think sometimes. It's like, how many million people might be on right now and using YouTube one way or the other? How many people, non-crafty and alike, are, live? Now I'm sticking with a 1/4 inch seam all the way through, but if you're struggling and you're new or even if you've been around for a while, I didn't find my 1/4 inch seam until this year. You really, as long as you're consistent, you can keep going through, and if your 1/4 inch is a little wide or a little narrow, all the way through, you'll be fine. Was watching a live this morning, started at HD, kept dropping. Yeah. See, like when I'm looking, because I'm looking at myself to make sure everything's going good and reading the comments, I'm like, my video is very jerky. And I'm sorry if that's what's happening, but we have no control over what YouTube is doing. Since, it's their moneymaker too, I imagine they're doing the best they can. We rely so much on the internet now. Work, shopping, school. Go. So if anyone ever has any questions, if you just put it into capitals, all caps, or if you don't want to, that's fine too. But if I don't answer you right away, ask again, or a moderator will catch on, because we have amazing moderators. For me, I try to look every now and then, nice and clear, excellent. I didn't do anything. Jody, we've been talking about you. We've heard it's rainy out there where you're at. Oh, I'm going to be that day. Sorry, guys. I'm going to lose track of what I was saying. What was I saying? Okay. If you have any questions, the moderators are amazing. Oh, I look down. No one has any questions, but the moment I look down, there'll be like 3 questions pop up and I miss them. Was driving dog to the vet for emergency? Jody, I hope the doggy's all right. I know how important that dog is to everybody. So when I trim now, I'm going to trim at the 4 corners of my square. So I want to go a 1/4 inch, and I find it easier just to move it this way because there's only the edge of my ruler, the 1/4 inch, and then all of the crazy numbers. So this way I only have to look at one number. Or we can turn it this way. Here we go, there's that one there. So if I want to worry about getting that all lined up, but I like to just, I don't always worry about it being super square and making sure everything's lined up, but I can put my 45 in different places to line it up. I'm just going to trim it up. Pouring cold, deep water on the roads. Yeah, we were talking about your rain and how you get too much of it. Bye, Susan. I hope the storm passes quickly. 1/4 inch, and I can line it up there. This is where I worry, and I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to run my mouth too much chatting with everyone and talking about what I'm doing, and I'm going to make a mistake. You guys are very sweet and generous. Hi, Sue D, and I am very grateful for that. So if I make an oops, we'll just have to move on or start over. So this is where it takes me a second, where I have to look at it. I'm like, okay, well, where do I put next and what do I put next? And that's when I have to either look at one I've already made. So once I make a test block, I do this in a lot of the ones we do. So I put this here. Okay, so now I know, let me bring in the black one. Even though that's the same size, but when I put it on my previous square and I put it so that my squares match up, I can see that my next ones are gonna go here. So one of the things is I have my two seams here and there, so that might be an idea, at least it's gonna work for this round, that like when we do the log cabins and we have to match it up with the seams and everything. Yeah, training opportunity, perfect, Davi, that's exactly what it is. So I just stop, instead of doing my 100 miles an hour, just not thinking, I'm really getting a little tired of fixing things all the time. Now I don't mind adjusting, but when I have to start all over, I get a little frustrated. But when you're first making these blocks, these are the things that you might have a problem with too. So now I know I'm going to put it on these spots here. So before I go any further, I know my next color is going to be orange, and everything's so pretty in here, and I'm going to make a mess because I didn't have enough room to lay out all of my colors. So let me get my purples, and I cut way too many fabrics, but again, so now I have my longer strips. Let me see if I have anything shorter in here. Well, here's one that's a little shorter, that'll work there, and here I'm going for the color, so I don't mind too much if I repeat, though I'd like to not, if at all possible. So I have this one there. This guy looks a little shorter. And I try to avoid any with too much white, so some of them do have whites in them. Put that nice and neat again. Happy accidents. Thank you, Jody. Yeah, we did the white one, as you saw this morning, and then we have the black one. So now I can move this, and move that. Come on back. And this is the other reason why I don't use my Juki, especially for the live streams, because it got too heavy to move back and forth. So where we go like this. So I can just move it over, and I didn't move anything. I'm going to line it up close to, I like to leave a little tail end on here. So I just leave a little bit over so that any of my excess is over here. So if I trim it off, then if I'm going to use it for something else, like maybe I can, if it's a long piece, I can use it somewhere else or use it in cards. Instead of it being purely scrap that gets thrown away. Yeah, oh yeah, it's just too heavy, and if you have the industrial one, that is just way too heavy. So I will have a larger piece that will have to be cut off, and for me this scrap won't be used for anything, but it'll be rainbow colors and my scrap pile will look pretty. Okay, and then I had it like that, so my piece that's across. And again, I'm going to put my smaller piece on top just so I can see where I'm stitching. Now, if you've made flying geese, I cut this out of the video because I didn't quite give enough details. But if you've ever made flying geese, you'll know that when you sew the two flying geese blocks together, there's like an X. I'll show you after I sew this. There's an X. I'm pretty sure I cut it out of the video. But if you stitch right through the X, then you know you're going to be at a 1/4 inch. But you can only do that on every other round, and that's why I cut it out of the video too, because it just didn't make sense all the time. So when you're sewing, focus. Okay, there's the seam that goes this way and that way, and when I just stitch this on, it goes right through that X, and that gives you the idea, so you know it's you've got the perfect 1/4 inch. If you've managed to sew right through there, then you've done everything properly, and you've got that perfect 1/4 inch. Hi, Miss Mocha. Yes, Mommy's gonna sit here and talk to herself a lot, so you better get used to it. Did you want to come out and say hi? No? You want to go hide? That works too. And then just get it done. Quilts taught me to finger press first because my seams were always bad. That's where I was having a problem with the cutting and with the seam pressing. So now that I have that, I do still have my little wooden rulers, but I haven't been using them with this because when you're sitting here and making the block, it just goes so quick and everything does lay down pretty nice that I just used it in the end. So now on here, I'm just going to lop these off just to get them out of my way. Because otherwise when I sew the next round, I'm going to end up sewing over everything and it'll be a little goofy. So then I know this guy's got to go here. This was the round that I saw the most waste with. Perfect seam, thank you. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm proud of it. I'm just like, I'm really excited and amazed that I struggled for so long to get those perfect 1/4 inches, and learning where to put my needle on this machine, learning my machine and learning where things go and how to line things up and how that I need to pin and I need to pay attention. When you're sewing from the front side though, you can't see that X, so if you're doing like the flying geese, it won't work. This one, I'm not super concerned, but it is a neat little trick. I do like that neat little trick. So I put the other one on and we'll flip it over this way. And again, I'm just making sure it's semi even in the middle-ish, sort of, kinda. Because the amount I'm gonna trim off, Halloween fabrics in May. I have to be careful too, I don't just push the machine right off the table. Oy vey. A very rainy central Jersey shore. Good afternoon, good afternoon. We have Terry, we have Malgore. You know, I say your name all the time in my head when I'm reading your comments, just try to see if I can get it right. Malgorzata. And then it's like, Robin, how do you know if you're getting it right or not when you're just making things up? Like when you're reading a book and you don't know how to say something and you just say it how you think, and then when you see the movie and they say someone's name and you're like, I wasn't saying that at all. Yes, the 1/4 inch can be different on a machine. They say, I heard that many times, that if you, I didn't get perfect 1/4 inch on that one. If you start on one machine, you should finish on that machine. And I know this is the piece that I sewed in the other direction, and I know I didn't get it because I lost the smidge of the point. But really, once that's in a quilted or in a tote bag or whatever, you're never gonna see that smidge. Nobody's gonna know. The Polish accent. Well, get there, I'll get there. Okay, so then we have to think again, we need to trim the corners. I just keep telling myself, trim the corners. So I will trim here at the 1/4 inch, and I can line it up with my square if I want, but I don't know. Unless you're putting them next to each other, block by block by block, I'm not sure how important it really is. Yeah, the Brother and the Juki seem to be really good. I can go from one to the other with no problem. The stitch length, the numbers and stuff on the Juki and the Brother are different. But other than that, the Juki is great though. That's really where I started to learn the 1/4 inch, because it had a little quilting button. When you press that quilting button, it puts your needle in the exact position next to the edge of your foot for the 1/4 inch, so you didn't even have to think. So then I started, extra bit underneath there. Then I started to really pay attention, and when we were doing these blocks this year and everything, and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to talk about this and we're going to do this together, I need to get my 1/4 inch under control. And my 12.5 inch blocks are so much better because I stopped, paid attention a little bit, and see here, this is where I had the bigger pieces because I sewed over corners and stuff. just because your lengths are so close. And then if we take this, and if we're going to, I'm going to not square this up as I go at all, but if we put this on here, then I am 4 3/8 all the way around. Probably would be 4 1/2, but who knows what I may or may not did, or it could be perfect. Now it gets a little bit easier because I should be able to see my next round is white. So if I match this up again, I can see that these corners that are notched out are those goofy places, and then I want to go on those long areas. And again, there's a seam there, 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 and there. So that might be our trick, is to pay attention to that seam. So I have all the fun whites. Sue Smith, she made it. Sue, 50 lashes with a wet noodle. Don't you know hanging out with us is so much more important and more fun than mowing the yard? I will 100% come and hang out on a live. I'll be like, oh, sorry, Robin, I can't mow my yard because, you know, somebody's live stream is on. I don't care what it is. I'll find any excuse not to mow the yard. I'm just flipping through looking for the shorter ones because I only need to match that area. And that really, I'm going to trim them down after too long anyways, but that really does make a difference on how much you're throwing away. I'm really not sure what tutorials you guys are following if we're having so much waste. I've never watched a pineapple tutorial when I did my research and everything. So let's see that there. So I really, whoops, leave that one. So I'm not sure, I watched a few of them. I'm really not sure of too many. Most of the ones I've watched have been with the rulers. So the ones I found online, Crazy Mom Quilts is really like the one I found online. And she does it this way, and this way makes sense to my brain. Sent me the email, excellent, thank you so much. What's today? Friday. So I'll be able to put it in the mail tomorrow, but since it's going slow mail with just a regular old stamp, you could get it in days or you can get it in 4 weeks. So just be patient. If you don't get it in a while, just let me know and I can always send another one. Some people, I know sending to Germany, no, sending to Russia in the past has taken 6 months, so it could take a while. Oh, Jody, I'm so happy he's all fixed. Be safe, drive safe, pay attention, Jody. Take a lesson from me. Slow down. Pay attention to what's going around. Ignore what's in your head and get there safely. So then I can put these on. Again, I have to keep watching because it's on white and paying attention to which is which. But the white on white is really good too because either way, it's going to be white. I did have to pick through a few things because I had some creamy looking ones and some more yellow looking whites. It was like old antique looking long and it got yellowed. I thought, that's not white. So this round, I should be able to do most of them. So if you're doing, once you make your first practice block and you know what you're doing, turn it like this black one. I could turn these into hot pads or like you said, pillows. I could just make it into a little doll quilt for like a teddy bear or something if I had young children. Yes, Miss Mocha, what do you want? Yeah, I know, I put things over there. I moved the garbage can, stay out of it. Then I can just move these out of the way and put the white down on there. And since I'm only gonna sew from the orange to orange, the other strips, oh my goodness, my eyes are bad today. The orange strips won't be like in my way. The other white strips won't be in my way. I'm already loving this. Don't worry, I'm used to snail mail. Yeah. Unfortunately, when you live in other countries, and I don't want to be like, it's not like, oh, USA, USA. I live here. But so many things do surround the United States, so that if you're ordering things and you're getting it from here, you already know that things take a while to get here. When you have online friends and you send cards back and forth and everything, you already kind of know it takes a while. Because certain things go over on boats, and from what I've learned, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but from what I've learned is if it goes on certain types of boats, like if you are ordering something and it goes in the slowest amount of traveling, like it's not speedy mail or different types of mail I'm not aware of, but they go into those big metal containers. So if it's going on a container, they don't ship it out until the container fills. So if it was empty when your package went in there, you might have to wait days, weeks, and months before that container gets filled, and then it gets shipped to your country. And I was like, that's crazy. It's already so expensive to mail, to pay more to go faster. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it. It's like we're very spoiled. I know that I'm spoiled. Like I've talked to others of you, and some of you don't mail in your city. You have post office boxes. I mean, I get mail right to my house. My mailman brings packages up to my door. If something is going to go in the mailbox in my mailbox, he will bring it up so it doesn't get wet on a rainy day. He's really, and I know not everyone gets that. We used to be, I mean, we've always been land mass large. Now we're population large. But we don't have, when we went to New York, when we were in upstate New York in Carthage, the mailman walked from house to house. He parked his truck at the end of the road and walked around the neighborhood in the snow and everything. And I thought that was the craziest thing. I'm like, you have your truck, why don't you drive? And he's like, because of all the snow and everything, it's just quicker to walk. And that's what they do. They walk their route. Even mail going to Canada is very slow. When I get mail from my sister in Canada, it takes like 3 months. Oh, I don't know what's going on in Iowa, but when Sue Smith sends me something, it takes forever. And when I send her things, there's something going on in Iowa. There's like a barrier around it. I don't know if it's a moat and they close the gate and you can only get mail once a week. I know some people, they only have mail once a week. We knew a few like knitters and stuff in the Pacific Northwest. No. What is there? There's like that up in Canada. There's like, oh, I can't even think of, some type of like an island type thing, and they would only get mail once a week. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So when you get mail, it's really exciting. You get all kinds of packages. Marie made it. She made. Well, we're just kind of babbling and sewing, and I'm gonna stay today until this is done. So if you guys need to leave ahead of time, or you're bored with me or something, then, you know, feel free to leave. I don't know that I trimmed that up properly. I was using the side with the 1/2 inch. So I'm just trimming, again, following that orange round, the previous round. I keep wanting to call them logs, like log cabin, but my strips are 1.5 inches. So they're only sewn on one spot, so I'm lining up 1.25 inches on those lines. And I'm checking to see if it lines up on the outer edge. I'm just trimming that off. Put the white over there, put the colors over there, just because it's fun. And then I'm trimming. She's not lying, it's bad. Oh, you put it, oh, roast in the oven. I'm having rice that I made 3 days ago with some ham that I took out of the freezer 3 days ago that's left over from Easter. Roast sounds good. Oh, maybe I should choose my fabrics before I start sewing. So now, red, orange, yellow. Bring out my fun yellows. I thought about doing a second round, but I think that red square is enough to cover it. So we are going to where, oh, look at that. So where those colors stick out now, I know that that's where I need to be. And that is going to barely make it, but it's going to work. So I'm going to try it. That one will work. I Anybody different? Put another short guy there. Oh, you were way too short. Sometimes I cut it even if it was really short because I thought, well, I'll use it in a different project later on. It's still something that I can use. All right, do I like that? You know what? I say you can use the same fabrics, but I kind of want something different. And then let's use, let me give this guy a nice little press. I didn't press them. I pressed them when I was doing them, but some of them were already, because I do a lot of work with things that are 1.5 inches wide. See, I've been trying to be really, was it cognizant, paying attention to my rotary cutter and keeping it closed when I'm done. When I'm working and I have my table out here and I know I'm going to constantly be going like this, when the blade is out, I put it underneath the sewing machine extension table so that hopefully I don't grab it. I mean, I know it's not the best option, but at least it's better than I was. Thank you, thank you. Envelopes take forever, but they are prioritizing packages, yeah. But you know what? If you know that a fabric postcard is coming, sometimes I get surprise ones. I really love surprise ones. Sometimes when I was doing the swaps with the different people, like I said, in Russia and stuff, I would just get a postcard months and months later. I'd forgotten about it. I'm like, okay, I swapped with 6 people. How many postcards did I get? I don't know. I like surprises. They're fun. It's fun to open the mailbox and have something. Only one of my postcards have been opened by customs. I guess they were quite surprised because there wasn't anything in there. I don't even write anything on the postcards. I just pop them in the mail as is, so you guys can use them and write them on them if you'd like yourself, or you can keep them. So it's like they had a big shock. Sorry, there's nothing in there. See, red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Someone remind me, please, when we get to red, orange, yellow, green, blue. We'll do the last 2 fabric postcards on blue and purple rounds. So if you guys can help me remember. I sent a postcard to a cousin Orlando. It took a month to get to her. Ay, ay, ay. There were a few times we were quite surprised. The next town over, I'd send something to my grandparents or something and they get it like the next day. I'm like, nice. And for a while there, based on our post office setup, they would send it to Tampa, which is a 2-hour-plus drive from me. And then Tampa would sort it and send it back down here to Cape Coral. I thought, well, that's just crazy. But then they got their own sorting facility here and they didn't have to do that anymore. Because, you know, I've been here since the 80s. I really I can't wait to get my eyeballs checked. I'm really curious to see how much they've changed. I feel like my distance vision is good, but that vision, that old lady vision right here, feels like it's changed. Well, no, it has changed. It doesn't just feel like it. Go ahead, Mocha. You want to get up in the curtain? Here you go, sweetie. Go ahead. Jump, jump, jump. Hide, hide, hide. They all like to sleep between the 2 curtains. Warmth of the window still, and it's not right in the sun, so it's really nice for them. You think it's my autofocus that's doing it? I don't know if I have that on. I haven't touched any of the settings on my phone. I mean, I can't check it now because Someone did say something about it trying to autofocus before. Maybe, I mean, I'll have to look at it when we're done. I can't do anything, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it right now without stopping the live stream and then starting again, and good luck with that sometimes. But as soon as I finish ironing this, I'm going to make myself a note and I will check. Like I said, I haven't changed anything. I'm very particular about doing that. Once something works, I try not to change it, because then, you know, you don't know if it's going to work anymore. Check auto focus on phone. I love sticky notes on the calendar. We go. Okay. I double checked that. I'm really sorry if you guys are having issues. Is everyone having issues or just some of you? So is it everybody or just a few of us? Mine just seems to be blurry all the time. I know several of you are just listening to me. You don't see it blurs out, no issues. It's blurry on your end. So it's like half and half. Okay, I'll double check just for Jackie that it's not anything I've done. And again, like I said, I've done the videos. I did the one where I sit across the table from you guys for the Whip It Wednesday, and I did the ones for the Patreons, and this morning's video. Those were fine. Then I have to say it's got to be YouTube, because it's the same settings and everything like that. Oh, I'm liking that. So now we're going to do white, and we're going to do the same thing, and these are all definitely too short. Now with the white ones, I don't really care if they're the same going around, because, you know, it's white. I'll put you guys over here. Drop some 720 down to 140. Yeah, I noticed that when I was watching Laura Lynn, the Mom and Pop. I mean, it would be fine, and then all of a sudden it dropped down. I'm under the table, and then it picked back up again, and I'm like, oh, because I knew it had to be like YouTube or something to do with my tablet, but it was only doing it. It does it the worst on the live streams. I've noticed that it's not when you're just watching a video, so I don't know. So I say it's gotta, I have to lean towards the 99% that's a YouTube issue, which again, I can't control, so I'm really sorry about that. So our options are, you can come back and check the replay, or, I mean, we can stop going live until it's fixed, but that's not fun. Most of the time I listen to videos anyway. Oh, we got someone new. Hello, Diana. Diana, there you are. Hello from Connecticut. Where are you in Connecticut? I actually lived in Naugatuck, outside of Waterbury, where I was born, until I was 13, and then moved to Florida. We are missing like a whole section, different sections of the United States. It seems like we're all pooled together in certain areas. If we have Texas and Arizona. Jersey, Connecticut, New York, Iowa, and then we have Washington. I think we have some in California. Lay down. I thought about getting a map and putting pins in, but that was one of those things that sound really exciting, but the reality of it is you would never keep it up. Lurking in California, Helen's in California, Arizona. I know we have a few in Arizona. We have a few. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, I just figured it's YouTube also. That's always my go-to. I try to adjust it, and if it keeps changing, then I'm like, oh, it can't be me. And I know we have several different countries too. But what are we missing? Like the Idaho, Wisconsin, Michigan, Missouri. I don't know if we have anyone there. We have a lot of lurkers and people will never know they exist because they like to lurk, and that's perfectly fine. I lurk on many of the channels I hang out at too. Oh, lost it. Maine, yes. Maria, I think you're actually in the same area where my mother used to live. Are you in, let's see if I can say it, Presque Isle? Is that how you say it? Someone, Oklahoma. Charlotte's in Oklahoma. I didn't know that one. Clocking? That's an interesting. I'm not technology shoot kind of girl. I mean, force me to learn something, and if I can practice it over and over again, I'm okay. Yes. Yeah, my mother lived there for years upon years upon years. I thought you were the one, because we've had many conversations, well, beyond our recent ones, I believe, in the past. And I know sending stuff to you, I'm like, hi. I keep thinking, I asked my mother if she knows, like, you or your address. I don't know how big your area is, if it's a very big town. And I know it's kind of silly sometimes. It's like, oh, you live in Cape Coral? Do you know this person? I'm like, no, we have like 700,000 people or whatever we have here. I don't know. My kids live 6 miles away, but it takes over 20 minutes to go see them, and they're on the other side of town, and it's like nobody goes from one side of the town to the other unless they absolutely have to. Giovanna, I'm glad you're commenting. So, it's nice to have everyone. Yes, she lived there. She's back in Connecticut because that's where, I mean, I'm from Connecticut. She's from Connecticut. My father's from Connecticut. I mean, that just makes sense. I mean, I know it could be differently, but, that's where they all live. She went back home after a while. She's been back there in Connecticut for many, many years, but she lived in Maine for a long time. She's like hunting and fishing and all that stuff, and we don't have that much down here. We have a lot of fishing. Lupe likes to sew along quietly. That's what I like to do. I work on whatever project I'm on, and I kind of look up at the comments when other people are talking. But for a while there, I couldn't because my internet was so bad. I could only watch the replays. So then I just kind of got into the habit of not chatting. And I also do that if I stop and chat, I don't work on my project. So that could be, 2-3 hours, an hour, whatever you're on the live with people. Because some of you guys go live for many, many hours. I don't know how you do it. I'm very introvert. This uses up like all of my energy. After I'm done, I'll like feed the cats, feed myself, and then I fall asleep in my chair. Hours earlier than I normally would. Look at that. Boy, I am very pleased with this, except for the threads. Red, orange, yellow. Hey, these aren't in order. No, they are. Roy, right? Red, orange, yellow, green. I got myself confused. Born and raised in Waterbury, live in West Hartford, Bloomfield right now. West Hartford. Hartford, that's a little bit away, but not too close. I was born in Waterbury also. That's where my grandmother's family and everything was. I know. You're going to go live? Marie, by the way, I watch your videos all the time and I don't comment because, again, I just keep doing my thing. Thank you. I think I'm really enjoying this. I don't want to push it on that one. That one looks a little, now this one's a little bit dark. See, I'm trying not to, some of these are just a little too close. This one might be a little too light. Let me look through this way. Yeah, that one's too light. We're not using that one. Yep, again, too light. Don't like it. I get to choose. Sorry, keep nipping in and out, granddaughter. Sylvia, that's fine. I figure you're just doing something. I'm glad you've got the grandkids around again. Grandkids are so special. There's nothing like grandparents, right? I mean, for kids, it's just so, it gives them that different space than with their parents. It's more of a freedom. I think I'm going to use that one. It gives them that freedom to be a different type of person. The rules are a little different. My father always said, there's no rules in my house. I'm like, you're going to have rules or them kids are going to run you over. My kids ran them over. Crosby High. Yes, that sounds very familiar. I think my grandmother went there. My father and my stepmother went to Naugatuck High. I learned the guitar at Naugatuck High. Just random conversational things that, you know. I know we have a lot of Florida people too that come and visit throughout the times. Some of you catch all the videos, some of you don't catch hardly any, some make it to the live, some don't. I think it's fun no matter what. Sometimes you gotta go looking for them because YouTube doesn't always put them in your list. And then it's easy to forget about people. You'd be like, huh, has Robin put a video out in a while? Oh, look, there's 10 of them. Everyone's been very sweet about my little quilts that I've been showing. They all went back in their tubs. I'm gonna have to do something with them. Dad working for General Dynamics in California, GE in New York, Florida, and went to, boy, you're almost like a, you know, the military and stuff. You traveled all over. My grandfather worked for Uniroyal. I remember when they went on strike and all that, and it was just really crazy as a child. There's like different things. We grew up country in the outskirts of like a town city type setting. I remember when our cow that was kept in the backyard pasture area had its, I almost said kittens. When the cow had its calf, it happened just as the time the school bus was coming, so everyone got off the school bus to come watch the baby cow being born. And it was like, you know, we grow our own food and vegetables and butcher our own animals. Kids at school thought I was the strangest thing. But nowadays it's back to being normal again. Worked on a space project. Oh, because it's just me, so it's not we, but I watched the SpaceX go up this morning. I put pictures on my personal Facebook page, which is, it's open to the public, anyone can see it. I enjoy watching things go up so often. With different space shuttles and now the rockets and stuff with SpaceX. This morning's one was one I have never seen. It was so cool because when the rocket or whatever went up, the sun was rising up in the higher clouds, but it was still dark here. So the rocket was actually in the sunrise, but it was showing as dark down here. So it made like this jellyfish thing, and it was so cool. Because I can just walk to the end of my driveway and catch it and watch them. And it's so much fun. I got a picture of one of the, I guess the fuel things or whatever, breaking off and coming down to the earth. It looked like, I put Beam Me Up Scotty because that was the first thing I thought of. It looked like something, like an alien was coming down or getting sucked back up, whichever way you wanted it to go. It was the neatest things this morning. See, now we're getting our longer strips and they are further away from each other, so you can do all 4. So if you were making a couple of blocks at a time or something, you can still sew like, you sew your 5 and then you unclip them and then sew the next section, stuff like that, and just keep going around. Again, I can see a lot of bias because my block wants to be wavy, so you have to be a little bit careful. Craft a Simple Life, hello, hello. you made it. We're going to be here a little bit today. I have a feeling we're going to be closer to 5, so if everyone can handle that, we're just going to keep, I don't want to stop, you know, and not have this finished. If we're just sewing scraps or whatever, that's one thing, but we're only working on one block. I want to make sure it's done because I'm a little bit excited to see how this looks. So I'm just going to, I find for me that if I press this round that we just did, and then I go to the corners where there's nothing, and I just give that, I'm not pushing hard, I'm just letting the heat glide over it. It kind of settles everything down, and it gets rid of all the waves. Plus you can put the wooden blocks on it, and that would work too, the little clappers. Thank you, thank you. Something I've always loved rainbows. Rainbows and butterflies. And then we moved down here and it was flamingos and horseshoe crabs and sand dollars. I love sand dollars. Horseshoe crabs are just, we saw them when we were out in Sanibel, and you can see horseshoe crabs everywhere when you're walking. Ding darling. It was the greatest thing. That's when I saw the flamingos and everything. See, we're having, because I'm piling everything up, we do have a bit of scraps, but when we look at them, really, it's not like it's anything huge. I'm just cutting corners off. If you were to make a whole bunch of half square triangles, you'd end up with a pile of scraps too. So, do we know what our next color is? We just did the colored ones, and now we gotta do white. Yay! Well, I will just put that, because I'm going to end up cutting it off, but I don't have much use for that little piece that's right there, so I will just leave it. Now I'm coming up to all of my long strips. I think I'm going to use scissors here though, because I'm feeling a little off, and I don't want a rotary cut through. Let's see, do I have anything different? Just to bring in a little bit different. I don't, like I said, I don't have to. And then that one's perfect, so I'll just leave that there. So if you're making a bunch of these, you can pin them all on and then go through and just keep sewing. My last eye exam, I discovered I have cataracts, got eyes done before the end of, well, I bet you, from what I've heard, people are like, it's night and day, because the cataracts, sometimes they come gradually and you don't realize it. Have them taken care of, it's like, whoa. My daughter bought me something I had on my Amazon wish list because she's not going to be here for Mother's Day. She wanted me to have something special, so she bought me these magnifying glasses that I had on my list. It's something you wear on your head. Think of something like when you look at a jeweler or a watch guy, and he put the thing, a hat like on it, and then he'd have that part of the glasses that come down over his glasses. And by using that and everything magnified, it was like so much brighter and clearer. And I thought, wow, I can't wait to get new glasses. And I'm really leaning towards not getting any type of coating on it for the glare. I was talking to one of you guys, and you've had the same problems with them. And I can't remember ever having the glare resistant thing before. So I'm just going to go back to my normal. I don't drive at night, and you guys have been looking at glare from my glasses all this time anyway. North Carolina from Lori. Hi, North Carolina. I always hear people like, wow, look at how green the trees are. Everything looks so good. And if you have hobbies like we do, or if you like to read or something, when your eyes start going, it makes everything less enjoyable. Or you get headaches a lot, or your eyes get tired. I'm hoping that's going to take care of part of my eyes are always so tired and want to close all the time. That's the one that you really can't tell the difference on. So you can do these blocks, any of your colors, your background color or your your main color, your contrast color, and all those. I keep changing what I call it, but you can play with it so much and change it up. I like those, like the log cabins where they do the rainbows on the diagonals, so you can do a whole bunch of diagonal colors if you chart it out or use one of those software programs. I'm sure there's a bunch of patterns you can buy, because there usually are. I say this is definitely a project that, you know, if you're one of those people that work on one project at a time, it could be easily done. But this is one of those ones where I saw on Instagram they're doing a pineapple block when I was looking for different examples and stuff. So I think doing one of these blocks a week, and at the end of the year you have a quilt while you're working on other projects, I could see doing that. Oh, the computer work, yeah. They have like the special glasses, those blue glasses or whatever, and then you can have that screen that goes on it. I think if I did a lot of computer work, I would probably get something special for my glasses. I'm sure even with bad eyesight, there's got to be some type of a special glasses or special lenses you can get for doing that. Oh yeah, knitting and crocheting, especially, oh, I was thinking about that the other day, that with those special glasses, the magnifying light things, when my daughter has a light on, I'm like, I can knit with black yarn again. Hi Marie. Ah, thank you. We've been chatting away. Random stuff. Oh, a coating for the computer? Yes. An issue with good eyes. Oops. I guess I should probably press it completely, huh? Not just this. There we go. So I keep having this idea, like having these blocks explode out like that, which is why I ended up with the rainbow colors. I just thought it would be really cool. And you can really use up a lot of the whites, the contrast fabric, whatever color you choose. You can really use up a lot of that in your different scraps. I definitely prefer the narrower strips, but that is my go-to anyway. And with log cabins and stuff, I always prefer the narrower, unless I have a fabric that I want to show off. Is it okay if I link to one of your videos on Sunday? Oh yeah, you can. If anytime anyone wants to link to one of my videos, I don't have a problem with that. In general terms, that is like, it's always nice to ask, yes, but it's perfectly like YouTube legal. It's when you take my video and you put it on your channel, or you take large portions of my video and put it within your video without permission, that's when you get in trouble. But if you want to link to something, feel free. Maria, if anytime you want to link specifically, I won't worry about it, because you're linking to the description, and you know, it's actually helpful to me sending over, you know, bounce people back and forth between my channel and your channel. And I know you're not having any evil doings. It's unfortunately the things that you have to think of, though, and be cautious of and watch out for. So many like Instagram channels have their channels hacked and stuff like that, and YouTube channels, and it's scary. All right, are we supposed to do we're supposed to do a postcard now, right? Connie, are you still here? Connie's still here. Connie, I'm going to put your name on this one. Connie K. So just send me your mailing address to the RsIslandCrafts@gmail.com in the description box, and I will pop this in the mail. My mailman used to stop and look at them, because it'd be, you know, weird because I put them in the mail like this. Now when he sees these, he doesn't even blink. I can see him out my window because I hear his truck coming up. He just goes ahead, he grabs it, and off he goes. Oh, here we go. You guys are over there. I have 3 for on the replay, so I can't do anything until the comments come up for those people that are watching the replay. It usually takes like 24 hours, so if you come back afterwards, or if you haven't had a postcard and you've been watching me for a long time, you know, just let me know in your comments, and then that way I can, you know, pick and choose from the people that haven't had a fabric postcard. Postcard. I got it, Jackie. Thank you. Got it. I remembered because I was stopping. We're supposed to do a postcard. Last two colors. So you can even do your colors like lighter red, lighter orange, medium yellow, darker green, I mean, whatever you want to play with. You can have a lot of fun just working your way out. There's that one. I'm going to fold it neatly, even though I don't want to take away anyone's time by having them stay here with me because I'm being neat. I'm trying to be, I hear you, Mocha. I'm trying to be a little bit more, let's see what this looks like. So I don't have a big mess to clean up when we're done. If I have another light one, that'll go. Let's see. Do I have enough of this? No, you don't have enough of that, crazy lady. Oh, how about this one? There we go. I even got, let's see how long it stays with the light, dark, light, dark. Because we already know, especially when it comes to blue, that Robin can't keep track of light, dark, light, 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 dark, light, dark. There's that. Move that out of the way. And we're back. And yes, even when I'm alone, I talk to myself like this. Thank you, Lisa. Mary, you would love one? I'm gonna do one when we get to the purple round. If Mary Wise, if you're still here, anyone who hasn't received a fabric postcard from me, when we get to the purple round, you guys pop your names up. Let me know you've never received one, and I will pick someone. And then once I make more, I've been giving them out randomly throughout in the videos, but I like to do, you know, one a week versus one or two a month. So I need to make more postcards. A whole series too. I know it's nice to have one in hand, but I have a whole series of videos you can check out too to show how I make mine. And I pop random ones up every now and then. Don't talk while you're sewing, Robin. Before anyone starts having to go and make dinner or whatever, I just want to remind you that on the 20th, which is the next live stream, we're going to be using a ruler to make the same block so that we can see, is it better to use the ruler or is it better to, I've been calling this freeform because there's no paper piecing, there's no ruler, we're just doing our thing. Well, that one's close. So this is a little more involved than like a string block. It reminds me a lot of the spiderweb block in the look. So if you like that look of the spiderwebs and how they're expanding out, I feel like this block is very similar. Yeah, Marie, and if you don't get one time, if for whatever reason I'm like, oh, I picked someone else's name, just watch my videos, and when I give the Scrappy word, use the Scrappy word in your comment, and it never hurts to let me know you've never received one. I've been doing and sending them out randomly and with videos for so long, I have no idea unless I reckon, like Kathy Quilts, I didn't know she has never received one, but she's always here. I would have thought she had one. Sometimes, you know, it depends on, sometimes people are having a bad day. I mentioned before, when I'm reading the comments and stuff, sometimes I get a feel like, okay, this person needs one. I feel like they need a little pick-me-up in the mail. And as a little plug for myself here, which you guys know I don't always do, but if you're on my Patreon channel, depending on the level, certain levels get a fabric postcard mailed to them every month, and I try to base it, like I haven't done one for May yet, but I'm going to do flowers, which is part of the why I'm doing hibiscus. But I can't remember if I already sent this person a hibiscus and I don't want to double up. So I'll make something else like a tulip or something. But some people get them quarterly, every 3 months, every 6 months, every month. I think I was thinking about doing an updated video just to explain how my Patreon works, because it's a little different than other people's. Again, I'm very freeform, so that's how mine is. Hi, Tracy. I didn't see Tracy. Who were we saying hi to? Delia. Hi, Delia. Delia's new. Well, new into the channel. That's one of the things that I've always loved when I'm like chatting in other live streams. Like, we can have our own conversations, and the poor person that's doing all the work on the YouTube channel, they're just up there sewing away or doing whatever, and we're just chatting away in the comments having a good time. I always think, oh, that poor person. Now it's me. Oh, poor Robin. She's sitting here working hard. But I'm doing what I love. And I love that you guys chat in the comments. It's fun checking out new to us channels. It's fun when you start watching a channel and then either YouTube forgets to tell you about it, or let's say you leave it for whatever reason. It's fun to refine them, because sometimes in the beginning a channel might not be what you think it was going to be, and you might not like it, but then as time goes on it changes and it's something you would really enjoy. So it's fun to come back. And some of them a lot of the crafting ones I watch per project. I have a group that I feel like are my friends, and I watch them all the time. And then there's some that I watch based on the project they're making. So sometimes I don't watch it because if they're making something weird that I don't really get into. A lot of people are moving right now. Yeah, channels evolve. I've been popping up some of my earlier videos just to give you guys when I do the pinned comment, just to give you an idea of what it used to be. And they do change. I mean, we're always going to be who we are in the core, but sometimes like a new channel, people might be nervous and they might say a lot, and it drives you crazy. You don't watch it, but then you come back 6 months later and they're more comfortable and they're not umming. Some people I think just that's just what they do. It doesn't usually bother me. Unless I'm having a grumpy day. Then everything bothers me. Then I listen to audiobooks. Keeps me out of trouble. Alrighty. See, now it's so much easier. We don't always have to come back and put it to the center and realize where we are. So where are we? I think I'm going to move to the big ruler. This is where I got confused too. Like, I don't know where. It's like, when do you stop? When do you put the last one on? Because if you have it one way, this block measures like 11.5 inches. But if I put it this way, this block now measures 10.5 inches. So I think it all depends on what your center is and where the corners are going to be, and if you put it on point. So if you're going to have your block on point, then at this point you'd probably put the white corners on and finish it off. But I want them this way, and my main one that I started with is the colored, so I want my corners to be a color, and I'm not ready for that because I don't want to put you're not going to put a purple right on top of the blue. We need to have that white to go around it. So that's why I know if I re-center my square and it keeps me from being this way, for me, then that's why I kept recentering it in the video. And then I stop here and I think, okay, well, where's my next round? What's my next color supposed to be? So now we're going to go back to the whites. I say it all the time, but every time I look at this crackle fabric from Joann's, it's just one of my favorites. And you can just barely see the crackles in it. I like it. I like it, like it, like it. And this is really a great project to use up your scraps. And again, if I'm using scraps, then I think that if I have wasted fabric, then since I'm using 1.5 inches width of fabric, then who cares? It's scraps. And if I touch these one more time, same fabrics. This one has snow. I can have snowflakes in my rainbows. Okay. And I'm just folding these over mainly so that I can move the entire block. To move this, if you're not having to move your sewing machine back and forth, you can set your room up, your area, your dining room table, your corner at the end of the hall. I used to have a little craft area at the end of the hall. There was enough space between where the door opened for the 2 bedrooms and the end of the hall that I could have a nice little area. Sometimes we have to take whatever area we can get. Let me play catch up here for a second. Oh, selling their stuff, yeah. Oh, to put black around it, yeah. To border it around because, or a deep dark gray or something. Because sometimes black can be a little too harsh. But because now when this goes into a tote bag, it's only going to be 12.5 inches. Unless I do a small tote bag, I was thinking about bordering it in something and, you know, putting a bottom on it, because I like my tote bags to come up to 16.5 inches at least, so it needs to have something. I don't unsubscribe very seldom at all either. I just ignore them in my list, and eventually when you stop watching them enough, YouTube will either unsubscribe you or just not show you the videos. Sometimes people get, and okay, it's me, not you type of thing. Because sometimes people will get off on something that I'm really I'm not interested in, and it's not usually them. If it's someone, if for some reason I'm looking at Robin's channel, I'm like, Robin, you drive me, if you frustrates me every time I watch her video, I will unsubscribe. But if someone is just working on paper piecing and I'm not into paper piecing, I watched a few videos, I learned a little bit, and then I'm done. I just won't watch their upcoming videos. I know that can be kind of harsh because if they're monetized, that's how they earn their money and stuff like that. But I get it. You know, if you guys do it to me, I mean, I get it. I want everyone to enjoy what we're making, but sometimes people have just had enough. We learned that with the Quilt As You Go blocks when we were doing the sewing mat that one time. It was just a little too much after a while. Even I got tired of seeing it, and I was doing the videos. Yeah, some of them just no longer exist. Some I'm really hoping they'll come back, but when they've been gone, or sometimes they pass away, or they haven't put a video up in 10 years, chances of them coming back is really slim. In the beginning, I would subscribe to a channel thinking, oh, I'll subscribe and I'll remember that I want to come back and see how they. I never remember. I go through my list every now and then. Usually when I'm bored. That's something that's good for me to do when I'm being unmotivated. I'm like, my sewing mojo or something is gone. But because I make videos for you guys, I don't have a choice. I have to keep my sewing mojo on. Hi, Sharon. Sharon, I feel like we haven't heard from you in a while. How are you doing? I hope everything is good. Or I could be totally wrong because we know how I am with names and stuff. You know, when you see someone's name all the time, and then you're like, did I see them? Were they here? Had they been gone for a while? I spend too much time in my head doing that. Storms past. Welcome back, Susan. I'm glad everything is good. I hope everything is good for everybody. Oh yeah, when you have a couple different ones. I'm always, I try to be very careful. Sometimes, okay, it's not nice to say mean things in the comments, but sometimes I just want to leave a comment and say, what is wrong with you, person? Or to be just a little snarky or to jump in and help or something. But I don't always want to use like my channel to do that, because when I go to other channels and I comment, it's under RsIslandCrafts. So I always want to be nice and polite. You should never put your first instinct and say something nasty anyways, because it's just rude. So I always stop myself anyway. But sometimes I just want to say whatever, something not quite nice, but I could never have two names. I couldn't have like, I had to like log out of one and log in the other, remember who I was logged in at, try to make a video and get confused. So the people that have more than one channel and more than one name, I'm in awe. I can't keep up with that. Grandma always said, if you've got nothing nice to say, keep your mouth shut. So, not every bit of criticism is constructive. These rounds are taking longer and longer. My iron's actually going to sleep. Exactly, Giovanna. Just don't say anything at all. You see, now sometimes YouTube will not show you their videos and put you in your little playlist type thing. You have to go looking. Wasn't I subscribed to somebody's channel? And then you go and see. But if you don't watch in those rounds when I'm not watching videos enough, YouTube will start to not put them on your little front page there. Right, so our next round I think is going to be the corners, and I might have to cut some purple. I didn't cut the squares yet because I didn't know what color was going to be there and how big of a square I need. I have to stop and get a drink before we go any further though. Sometimes when I'm having a grumpy, not so nice day, that's why it's better for me to not pick up my phone, not comment on videos, because sometimes our grumpiness, I know for me, the grumpiness can come out, and that's not fair. Marie has a fun channel. Marie, your channel, I can tell you're getting more and more comfortable. So it's like when you want to say something like this, Marie, you're getting so much better than you were before. It sounds like, Marie, you were really terrible before. But it's like you're more comfortable now. You have to stop and think, what are you going to say and how are you going to say it so it sounds nice? Marie's getting much more comfortable in front of the camera. And I can see your personality. I saw your personality before, but you can see more of your personality now coming out as, as the person gets more and more comfortable. Then it feels, when you first start making YouTube channel, you're like, I can't be myself. They're not going to like me. I have to tone myself down. And then you start getting the random Robin stories and you go off on tangents, and it's okay because by then they've gotten to know you and they know what to expect, and everything is a little better. So I want to see how square this is. All I've been doing is lining up against here and making sure, I'm just moving my ruler to get to the 1¼ inch. So I'm a little curious to see what this looks like. I line it up at the top and over here on the edge. Oh yeah, I'm a little crooked, but I'm not bad. It's not too bad. I can't read the numbers. It's not going to change my crookedness, but I can't read the numbers. So I'm just past 11¼ inch. So if I put another 1¼ inch on, then I will be, Did you catch that? I didn't have my square squared. So there we go. There we are. So now we are at 12.5 inches. And I was wondering, like, why didn't I need that purple there. Yeah, squirrel. I try when people in the real world, in earlier years when I was in my early 20s and stuff, I would take everything to heart. You know, wear your heart on your sleeve. Everyone made me cry. I was always upset. Smile at them and like say thank you and things like that. And because when they're being nasty back to them is not going to fix anything. Beverly, you made it. We all get them. Okay, so I get to do purple. I'm going to sneak over to the corner here where you can't see me to see what size square I need. If you watched the video this morning, you'll know that's how we do it. And mine is a 4.5. This corner right here. Oh, Marie, thank you so much. You have a great evening. We're going to just put corners on this and we will be done. So when I put this on and I line it up, oops, let me see, real numbers. So if I don't have the little half numbers, so I'm looking at it and it goes right here, line it all the way up, and it shows 4.5 inches right here. So if I add an inch to it at 5.5 inches, that'll give me 2 corners. So I want to bump it up just a little bit, maybe 6 inches, just to give myself some comfort room, but I don't have any purple. All I have is strips, so I've got to go to my scraps and bring out my purples. And since they're going to be so large and purple's my favorite, I love this one. I love this guy. Can I get a 6 or so out of that? Why the rulers? Oh, I can get a 6. Oh, I can get a 5.5 out of that. So that would be just at it. So let me see. Birdhouses. Bear with me. Talk among yourselves. Won't work. That could be fun. That could work, but that's not big enough, is it? Nope. Thank you, Maria. I'll take all the thumbs up I can get. How about some sparkle? Let me do sparkle. Be a little sparkly. So when I say scraps, I have scraps. So I only need 2, right? So I only need 2. So I need those 2. Because I'm going to cut them in half. So if I cut them in half, that gives me 4 corners. So 4.5, add an inch. It's 5.5. Oh, darn ruler. So I'm going to cut that. This is why I like having the scraps color coordinated in my room right here. I can just pull it out, grab what I need, and I don't have to go to another spot. I don't have to flip through a whole stack of things just to find what I need. In the beginning, I but I didn't have the colors. So thanks to you guys' scraps and the types of projects I've been making, I've been building up my colorful scraps, and then I can immediately put this back and not have it sitting on my table taking up space and driving me crazy. I'm glad you're having fun, Giovanna. Sometimes the live streams are very informative and we don't do a lot of chatting, and other times we just have some fun. And every now and then, trying for once a month, to do just a craft and chat. I'm going to flip these over because it's easier to see purple on purple. And since I don't have to be super exact anyway, because I've oversized it, put you there and you there. And now I can, no, see, I almost messed it up. That's why I like being able to say, oh, did it again. Put the square in the center so it's squared. And then I can make sure, because you can also see you know, my colors are flowing out. I love that purple is the last color. Sorry about my nails hitting the cutting board. I know that's got to bother someone. I try to cut it out of my videos as much as I can because it bothers me. Beverly, we're pretty sure it's YouTube that's causing the issue. I'm going to double check my phone afterwards, but we're pretty sure we've narrowed it down to YouTube because it's not happening for everybody. YouTube is having some type of a glitchy thing going on. Thank you, Lynn. I love them. I'm really, it's like one of the things that I don't know. I'm going to turn this into a tote bag, but I'm going to sit here. I'm going to keep it for myself. No, you're not. What are you going to do with it, Robin? I'll put it on the wall. I'll make a pillow. You don't use pillows, Robin. Oh, but I love it so much. I will make it. I will record videos. I will take pictures and put them on Instagram and save them, and I can look at it later. To have everything I make just because I make what I love, so I love what I make. We need another fabric postcard. So whoever hasn't had a fabric postcard, if you're still in here and you would like one, please say yes, please, or me, or fabric postcard or something, and we will do this last one with the scary looking Halloween people on it. And I will. So is whoever asked for one before still here? When Robbie was younger and I was crocheting stuff, he wanted every crochet amigurumi, every animal that I crocheted. So I'm like, Robbie, right? Helen, do we have anyone else? Because if it's just Helen, then Helen's gonna get it. I know there was one more person that wanted one, so we just have to wait. Again, I have 3 more on the replay, so even if you watch the live stream, if you didn't get a fabric postcard and you'd want one, just come back tomorrow and leave a comment on the replay. Let me know you've never received a fabric postcard. This is good if you had a table. I noticed when I had the table, I didn't have this problem. This is pulling down, so I'm having to readjust. It's no big deal if I have a bigger seam allowance in the purple because I made my square larger, but I would want a pin if I didn't have this table. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know I'm going to feel super guilty because I can't give everyone a fabric postcard. I only have the one. Let's see who's looking. Helen? Did Agnes want one? Is that Delia? I can't see her. Mary Wise, she's back. Okay, I told Mary that if she was still here when we did purple that she could have this. And she's still here. So you guys, again, check the replay. Comment on the replay. I will pick someone. I have 3 of them. So I will do my best to either pick them all tomorrow or Sunday if I remember. I'll try to do them all at once so I don't have to forget. And then the Scrappy word. Anytime I use a Scrappy word in the video, if you put your name in the comment and use the Scrappy word, even if you only say apple, and that's the only comment you say, or even if you put the apple emoji, I will choose. I don't use the random generator anymore. I just choose. Let me put Mary's name on here. Mary, email me, please. RsIslandCrafts@gmail.com down in the description box before I get talking and I forget. If not, just randomly go through. I like to do it once a week once I make more fabric postcards. I'm even being smart and I'm putting a sticky note inside because they are Dollar Tree sticky notes. So you know, they don't stick very well. So I have 3 more of those to go, and then I'll be making more on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. So if you're still here, happy Mother's Day. Stitch and Cindy, you're making it in the last like 5 minutes. You made it just in time to see the final results of what I'm going to say is a very, very pretty block. Rainbow, I mean, rainbow's hard to not like. rainbow's not your thing, I mean, to appreciate the colors, it's kind of hard not to. Thank you, Ella. Dinner's almost ready. Happy Mother's Day. Have a good weekend. Oh, sorry, Ella, I didn't catch it. Where are we? Ella. Oh, I'm sorry, Ella. Our pets are so important to us. I won't get any more just because I can't handle losing another one, you know what I mean? Here we go. The last seam, a good press, trim it up. I can't tell you. I mean, I'll tell you. I wonder why do people say, I can't tell you how excited I am, and then we proceed to tell you how excited I am. I am so thrilled that purple is the last color. And not even just that it's my favorite color, because if I just mixed up the rainbow and just used rainbow colors, I don't think it'd be nice to have like yellow. It would have to be a strong yellow. Whoops. Can't see comments. It'd have to be a very strong yellow to be in the corners. I feel like it needs to be a darker color. And once I finish this up, I will clear off this area and I'll bring the other blocks in so you can see the difference on how using the colors as our background, as our main, our contrast. I'm not going to get that right. Having our colors be the predominant feature is so different than when we made the same exact block, same exact size of our strips, and I made, let me see, give this a good press. I made the other one, and the white was the predominant color. And here, there we go. Here is the white is considered a contrast. Oh no, there's blue on my white. I'll have to clean that off because I know that wasn't there before. Huh. I might have to keep this. There's a blue spot there and there. You know me, I can't sell something if it has a blue spot on it. If it wasn't there, if I didn't notice it, and if it came from one of these blues on it, then we've got a problem. And that's the scary part of using scraps, because you don't know what might or might not bleed. Yeah, Lynn, it's not. It does seem to go on forever, Kathy. It does go on forever. That is for sure. So I'm going to line up on the white parts here just to see, check. I can always kind of wiggle. Now mine is a little bit not perfectly square, so I'm not going to line it up in the center. Oh, look, it did work right there. I lied. I just do this thing where I kind of peek over the edges and check. Hold it down good. Cut this. That. I couldn't see myself working on this block on its own and not working on any other projects, because it's so time consuming to do one block. It's not like when you're doing string blocks. It's almost like crumb blocking, because crumb blocks, while you can chain piece them and it works out pretty good, there's still so much time into them. All right, before we show the amazing, I want to show you the waste from this project. And I'm not going to consider, these are scraps that can be used again, so they're not waste. The white was the one with the most waste, I feel like, because it was the shorter ones and based on where it was located. And here is our colored scraps. Now, I don't think, when everyone kept telling me, Robin, I don't make these blocks, there's too much fabric waste. I just didn't understand it, because you see how much waste we have for the entire project. And I gotta say, it does make my garbage can look really good though. And sometimes I have to take the trash out to the big can outside, because when I look at it and I see all those colors, I want to go, oh, but I can use that. Actually, I could, but no, we're leaving it in the trash. We're not pulling any triangles out. I have enough triangles. All right, here is our original white block that I made yesterday, okay? So we can see what that looks like. Now, white is the predominant color. But when I put this one next to it, and now the colors is our predominant one, and you can see how much that changes just by changing width. So you could do every other this, but if you want them to match up, now this block here is made with the 2-inch strips. I was telling someone, look, that mine don't line up, blah, 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 but they're not going to, because these are 2-inch and these are 1.5 inches. But it will carry out and it'll keep exploding. And this is how you get that big design when you make an entire quilt. So you'll have it that keeps going out. But as you see, all of mine are squared. They're not on point. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I had a good time. I love, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. I think if you like the block and you're a little hesitant, that you're nervous that you can't do it, I think make one block, and then again, you can always just turn this into a hot pad or something. Put some fun fabric on the other side and put your hot pad this side down. If you say, oh God, it's a mess, it's crooked, I did 2 rounds of white instead of one of the colors, put this as the bottom and put a fun fabric that you like on top. But I think the way they turned out can really drive your eyeballs crazy, but I love them. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Wonder what the black would look like with the specific colors, like an Amish quilt. Yeah, the black with the more of the solids versus, yeah. Well, black, anything, you already know what an Amish quilt's gonna look like because they look amazing with their blacks and like that. I think with the white, with the novelties, I kind of like that. Black, I would want more to have, I would want it more to have the more solid colors, like you said, like the Amish. I think that would look better with the black, because I think those colors would pop out better. I like the white. I just love fabrics that read like the color. Like these has like an orangey yellow in it. These have some different colors, but they read the colors that they're supposed to be. And I think it just works out so much nicer. I would rather have a Crayola quilt. I like this better as a string block. But you know, you can just do anything you want. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everything's just scrolling through. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Thank you guys so much for always watching the channel and doing the comments and hanging out with me on the live streams. Remember, on the 20th, I'm still here, I just turned around. On the 20th, we're gonna use the trim tool. I received a comment from someone in the last day or so that there's another type of pineapple tool made by a different person. You can check the comments to this morning's video. She put the name down there for what it is. I could really see this as like the whites, any type of neutral color that you have, and then just all blues. Either the entire quilt all blues or just sections. Like I said, with those log cabins where they do them diagonally, where it does the Roy G. Biv diagonally, so you'd have one of these blocks with red, and then you'd have 2 blocks with the orange, and going on the diagonal or going and just mixed it up everywhere. I really like, yeah, Devi, I can't do the paper piecing. I started one because I started it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I wanted to show you guys, let's say, okay, you have your option. This is what it looks like when you paper piece. So, you know, we can do that. And then I thought, you know what? I don't like the paper piecing. That's gonna take me a whole week to record a video of that. And I would not do it on a live stream because I'm a little too slow. I like simple paper piecing, like when you do a square and a square, or you do the tree and stuff. That type of paper piecing. Kathy, there's so many options. Head over to Pinterest. Search on, if you just want to see some blocks, go, if you're on Instagram, just start searching, like I said, there's a pineapple quilt along or something. When you start searching in the tags, other ones will pop up. When you start searching for pineapple quilt block, the whole list of tags will come up. Check out the other tags. I'm following one of them. So if you find one you see, follow, if you're friends with me and it says followed by RsIslandCrafts or Robin LaLone, whoever I am, it'll show up. But I am changing in my old age. You know, I've been doing these things for so long, and this was me. As you saw in my quilt show, this was me. But I'm not this person anymore. And I'm not this person anymore. While I love the novelties, just like with the fabric postcards, I look at these, and last year, and I thought they were great. And this year, I'm like, those are scrappy, they're fun. But this year, when I look at them, I'm like, oh, that I'm changing and evolving. And the more I do these things with these videos with you guys, the more I become this person. Except, make this a light gray, a light to medium gray. I really like this. I'm really into the grays now. So, I mean, we change, we evolve. And look at this. That's when I get irked. It's that little blue dots right there. So I think it must have been on the fabric. Maybe it was a fabric that I marked something for a half square triangle, or I marked it for something. I'm hoping it's not any of these blues, and I don't think these blues bleed. So I'll take a little bit of a little water to that, a little Q-tip, and clean that up. And otherwise, like I said, it'll become a wall hanging for me, and I'll have to keep it. Yeah, we do. We all change and we grow. Okay, if you have vision problems and you don't like, if you have like seizures or anything, don't look. But as I'm looking in the camera up there, I mean, this would be one of those things that'd be really cool to put on. I'm not gonna put it on a spinning mat, but you put it on a spinning mat and spin it around, and all those colors would just blend it into a circle. That would be really cool. This could be like the center of a flower. Exactly. And you know, Lynn, that's why there were several things that caused me to buy fabric the way I did. I didn't know what to buy. I didn't know who I was as a quilter, as a crafter. So everyone's saying, well, if you're gonna go fabric shopping, you have to buy 2 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards. It took me all of these years. It took me, you know, 10, 15, 20 years to go through the stash that I didn't like anymore. So when they tell you you have to buy 5 yards or 3 yards, you know how long it takes you to go through that fabric if you don't put it right into a quilt? If you just keep buying fabric? So then you have stuff on the shelf, and like, I love batiks, I love rainbow colors, and now I have, and don't worry, I have a use for the novelties that I'm really not quite interested in, because, all right, who's gonna, unless you really are specific for it, but who's gonna buy a project bag from me with my peas? This one's not too bad, but maybe you're into flowers, but the Christmas with these scary teddy bears on it. It's like, if you have yards and yards of that, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make a rug. I have that twining loom that I purchased, and I'm going to make a rug. But now that I know more of what I'm into, that's why when I go shopping now, because of what I make, I only buy a 1/4 yard. And if I love it, if this purple, this was a fat order, but if I love this purple, then I don't mind buying a 1/2 yard or a full yard. If it's a novelty that it's something that I know I'm going to use, like maybe the flamingos that are here, I might buy a full yard. If it has something that I know I can make something for the shop with, make tote bags or project bags, then I'll go ahead and do it. But just buy, everyone. Yeah, buy just what you need, because 5 years from now, you're going to look back at that stash and wonder, why did you buy that if you're not drawn to that anymore? So buy what you need, and if you know you've always loved flamingos for the past 20 years and you don't mind making pillows and quilts and wall hangings and bags, and you might make a skirt out of it or something like that. I've been very tempted to make skirts because in the summer it gets awfully hot and it would be fun to just wear skirts in here all by myself. But I haven't, and I probably won't. But buy what you need, buy what you love, and don't buy because someone told you you have to. Many times when you buy for a quilt, you can increase it by a little bit, but most quilts are designed from, a lot of times they do it from like the EQ software and stuff like that, and that has like a 10, 15, 20% buffer in it, so if you make a mistake. Sometimes when you're buying kits though, that's a little bit different. So, but if you're just going to make a 9-patch square, or you're going to make something like this, buy what you love, so that when you put this out on your table the day before and you look at it and you take a picture and put it on Instagram, you just know, I just love this. Oh yeah, and I just look and see what they have, and I now know what I do, and I won't go, when I bought my blender fabrics from fabric.com a year or two ago, it was the extra wide backing, 108 inches or something. So I would buy 1 yard, 2 yard. I know I'm going to use a lot of gray. So I could buy 5 yards of gray. I know I'm going to use whites. You put white in the tote bag lining. I know I'm going to use black because black goes good against the bright colors. But if it's just this green, like if I were to buy yards of this, what am I going to do with that green? You know, small bits are great. So then I buy a 1/4 yard of that. If you need to donate, I am sending material and quilts to Rebecca. Okay, we can allow that. We read you. Sorry, I'm putting my everything down here. Yeah, now when I was doing like a lot of crocheting, it's nice to have yarn on hand. So if you're like, Robbie would say, Mom, I need a yellow smiley face, a little squishy ball for tomorrow. Well, I have the yellow, I don't have to run out to Walmart. So it's nice if you're going to need, Mom, I need a baby quilt for a baby shower next week, or someone at work's having a baby and they just told you the shower's tomorrow. It's nice to have certain things on hand, but if you keep what is a neutral to you, like these colors are like a neutral to me. I will always use these colors and mix them in. These have always been my colors. I've always been a Crayola rainbow girl. So to have those is great. But to have a bunch of novelties, now novelties are great when I was doing all the different novelty swaps, and someone donated the novelty fabric to me to use in any way I want. So that is really great. So that's how they supported my channel. And I've used them in a lot of tutorials. I put them in a lot of different projects. But some things that I have just don't always go over that well. Oh, look, this guy here. You can't really even tell until you get close. But if you have to, and you don't realize the piece already had a seam in it, you can seam your fabric together. So if you didn't have enough of the blue, if you're doing the same color blue, same fabric all the way around, you can go ahead and piece it because you have so many pieces already, it's not gonna matter. Pre-cut tumblers for small projects. Yeah, now if you're into that, I made a whole, I cut a bunch of triangles with my Go because I'm like, I love pinwheels, but I don't love pinwheels anymore. So you just have to kind of pick and choose and just be careful because now everything costs so much. I had to be careful with my budget and I could only buy certain things. And fabrics at Walmart went down to $1 a yard. Rob, my husband, went crazy and had me grab so much. And I finally gone through almost all of it except for like all that crazy Halloween fabric. I still have a bunch of that. But I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope everyone who wanted a fabric postcard and I picked your name went ahead and emailed me, RsIslandCrafts@gmail.com, down below in the description box. I have 2 emails. One, if like the Hotmail one is only for my PayPal. Sometimes I will get emails through there and I check it every few days. I usually check it in the morning to see, because my mail, it tells me what mail's coming to my house that day, but I don't always get back to it and check it throughout the day. But my RsIslandCrafts@gmail, That one I get notifications. That's my business one, so I check it all the time. So it says down below in the description box, if you want to just chat with me, use this email. So anyone who wanted you're very welcome. Anyone who wanted a fabric postcard and didn't get one, anyone who made it through the replay all the way to the end of these 3, I will be choosing names on Saturday and or Sunday. And then I will let you know below in your comment. If you're like, Robin, I'd love a fabric postcard. And I'll be like, okay, Robin, just send me an email and send me your mailing address. I don't hunt you down. If you don't check your notifications and you don't come back and check your comment to see if I've left you a comment, I'm not going to hunt you down. I'll just take this fabric postcard and give it to somebody else. So hopefully, I know with a holiday Mother's Day weekend, I give you guys usually a week to get your emails to me. But to be honest, after I tell you, I let that go out of my mind. I only have so much space in my brain that I leave it up to you to do the step that you need to. I did my work, then the rest is up to you guys. So everyone else, just in case you don't remember who you are, we've got Mary and Connie and Kathy, I think she's left, and Giovanna. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful weekend. I can say generalized Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I've stopped saying it to random people, like in a comment. If someone says Happy Mother's Day to me, I don't say Happy Mother's Day back. I usually just say have a good weekend, because I've been yelled at too much in the past, because not everyone's a mother. And if I don't know specifically that you're a mother, my apologies, but I don't say Happy Mother's Day, because some people, if they've tried to be moms and they can't, or they've lost babies, they really don't want to hear Happy Mother's Day. And you know me, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the likes. Get your ruler if you want to. Otherwise, next time, just make it just like this. And the next tutorial, I'm doing bowl cozies on next Friday's tutorial, because I come to realize that I only have a live video. I don't have a standalone tutorial. So next Friday, we're going to do bowl cozies. And then the last Friday of the month, I have a bookmark video coming up for you. I actually know what I'm doing. I'm going to let you go. Have a great weekend. Have a good evening. Plant something beautiful and stay out of the rain. Bye.